God has turned man back into herself. You stand in line for the highest gift, for her generosity cannot end. But best to bring an instrument along while waiting in the cold desert, and make some dulcet sounds to accompany the palm's swaying arms. They're casting silhouettes against the sky's curtain from our fire. Remind the friend, that's capitalized, of your desire and great patience. 1 billion times has God turned man back into herself. We all stand in line for the highest gift. So the lesson today, lesson 334, I claim the gifts of forgiveness. I claim the gift forgiveness gives. It's forgiveness, seeing our brothers sinless. I mean, this is just a simple statement, so vast and broad in its implications. To see everyone sinless, to see everyone holy and complete. Not holy like cheese, no. Holy and complete. And the problem is, of course, we see the gaps. This is the problem. We're looking at the gaps. And but forgiveness is this process of saying, I'm going to forget all of these shortcomings that I have observed previously in my brothers. And then it tells us clearly that by giving that gift, we receive the same gift back. And this is an idea that shows up in Scripture many times. I don't know how the message actually gets lost. It actually says the exact same thing. And judge not, lest ye be judged. Who's doing the judging? I mean, the whole thing is about us doing the judging, right? So I sent out the little announcement, and I apologize for anybody who didn't get it. INTOMESEE. Intimacy. I want to be open. I want to be transparent. I want to allow a closeness, but I also want to see in the same way. I want to look with open heart, open mind, open eyes into my brothers and sisters. I want to establish intimacy. And in when I do the wedding ceremony, the 11th instruction is cast off your mask. Abandon art and artifice. That's the fake stuff. Abandon art and artifice. Be genuine and true. This is like foundational to having any kind of real relationship. To be who we are. Sometimes we're afraid because, especially in those, maybe we're meeting new people, or we think it's an important business situation. Things could go, we think we need to present ourselves, and we've always been told first impressions really count. I'm telling you, if you be yourself, it is the best first impression that could possibly happen. We don't have to act like anything else. This is the essence of humility, is to know who we are and not have to try to be something else. And what we find here in this meditation this morning and in the lesson for this morning is what we really are is this sinless, unblemished child of God. Well, how can that be? All the things that I have done. I remember all sorts of things that I have done. I remember all sorts of things have been done to me. I remember these. Forgiveness is forgetting all of those things. Say, "Whoa, that's kind of letting yourself off the hook." Yes, get down off that hook, because that's what keeps us stuck. That hook that we have put ourselves on. The hook. You can think about it this way. You got a closet, right? And you have all these clothes in the closet. Some of them might be on hangers. Some of them might be on hooks. They're there, and you're going to go get into the closet and get a new outfit and for different things. But every one of those outfits can be symbolic of a role that you are going to play, right? So think about this. You've got yourself in that closet. You got yourself on a hook of a role. Not only that, all the people you know, you got them in there. You got them in there all along the rail there, hung up in a role that you have them play. And every time that you come in contact with them or think of them, you're going to the closet and taking them off the hook, but you are seeing them in that role that you have already decided that that's what it is. Forgiveness is forgetting that. Intimacy is being real and then allowing the other person to be real. Now here's the thing. We actually do know that we are a child of God. We know that so is everybody else. But we refuse to accept it many times. We accept it partially, and partially doesn't work because we still have those remnants of judgments of the past. So, some ideas. To be open and receptive. To be open to the possibility of unity. Releasing the temptations of ego. To keep the lines of communications open by being understanding. Radiating an aura of love which projects friendliness and objectivity to all those around us. To be sensitive to the needs of others. It's just paying attention. It's just paying attention to what's going on. To know when to bring things out into the open. To listen carefully to what people have to say and to be open to their ideas. To understand that God speaks to and through everyone. To just be willing to hear. To share openly. To become more relaxed and able to listen deeply. What ends up happening, we get a new perspective. To be open and receptive to divine guidance that comes to us from others. It will. Even when they're saying some stuff that really, they don't even know what they're saying. This will also result in others being open and receptive to what we have to say. I was thinking, I've told this before, but you know how when you have to fly coach, and then you get in there and you hear the guy, the smart butt in the first class cabin say, "Man, am I glad I'm not back there in the cattle car." I actually heard someone say that. And you go and you go to your seat and you're just hoping that the other people that you're sitting with are at least somewhat normal sized. But they're probably not. So you sit there, you get in there, and you know what, this happens in the movies too. You get in there and you're trying to be in your own space, but there's just no way that it's going to work. There's no way it's going to work. So this is something that I do, and I'm just going to. Some of you have heard me say it before. If I have to sit there, and there's people like that where even if they are normal sized, you're still going to touch it. There's no way. So I just tell them right off the bat, listen, we're going to touch. Get over it. And then they laugh. And that is intimacy. it's intimacy to be able to talk to them, first of all, but it's a level of intimacy to be able to allow the touch and not feel all freaked out over it. In a theater, when it's crowded, when the movie is very popular and the theater is crowded, there's going to be people sometimes that sit next to you and they're going to touch you. Just tell them, you know what, let's get over this right now. We're going to touch. To practice this, to practice in an elevator that's crowded, to be okay with the contact. Now this is, I'm talking about, this is a principle to practice. Now, I do have to say that some of our brothers and sisters are a little more disturbed than others. So we still do have to pay attention to what's going on and not put ourselves in weird situations. But it's okay to be able to relax and allow ourselves to be touched. So that's a beginning. That's a beginning. This is something that I've read a number of times, but this really says what I'm talking about. And it comes from the Course in Miracles saying that in spirit we are invulnerable. And this is very important. If we understand that in spirit we cannot be harmed, then we can risk intimacy. So I am invulnerable. I have learned to be vulnerable, knowing that in truth I cannot be harmed. I am not afraid to touch or to be touched. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, I am able to give and receive love. Transparent intimacy is that which I seek. And I realize that everything that is hidden will be revealed. I will not hide anymore. I'm an open book. I do not try to dissemble or deceive. I can be myself. Share myself with others without trying to look good. I share my strengths and my perceived weaknesses. I remember that I am not yet practicing perfectly, so from time to time, I'm afraid. I share my fear. And I am empowered to overcome it. I also remember that being intimate does not mean that I am inappropriate in what I share and with whom I share. I do not need to tell everyone I meet every thought that I have done or every deed. Crossing these boundaries is a burden to others and cannot help me or them. In all situations, I rely on God's guidance, affirming that I will hear what I need to hear so that I can say what needs to be said. I will feel what I need to feel so that I can give what needs to be given. To be genuine and true. Genuine and true. To realize that it really is, that no matter how hard we may try, we are not the mask we wear, and we cannot become the mask we wear, because it's not us. It's not us. To make a commitment to just take it off. Just take it off. Get rid of it. To say that to remember, this is the truth, that in the past we may have felt that it was safer to show the world what we thought that it wanted to see. But we now know that the only one that was really fooled was us. I might have from times felt less than others and attempted to appear to be more than. But we need to understand that we are not bad people. We are not bad people trying to become good, but rather, this is the truth, that we are truly good, trying to express We are good trying to express, good meaning God, trying to express as us. The old defects are just a mask, an armor, which we thought would help us survive in a hostile world. To release all sense of threat, to become aware of the love that is within us and all around us. We are not the mask that we wear. Child of God. To be just that. To be genuine and true. I have one here that I want to read if I can find it. Here's the humility one. The humility one. I am who I am. That's a good affirmation. I am who I am. And we go, man, that's really not what I was hoping for. Today, we take on the mantle of humility to release any false sense of self and replace it with true knowledge. Being humble does not mean being less than. It's knowing who we are, not trying to act like something else. To know that we're a spiritual being, part of a larger spirit in which all minds are joined. It's happened the other day. It's happened, I don't know how many times this has happened to me, that I thought of someone, and I reached for the phone to call them, and it rang, and it was them. Whoop! You go, it's just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. By the way, if the phone doesn't ring when you do that, if that happens, you think of somebody and you go reach for the phone, you reach for the phone, you think of somebody, reach for the phone. What am I saying? You might not even do that, right? You might just say, up. Reach for the phone. If it doesn't ring as you're reaching for it, you make the call. And just see if that person does. Many times, that person is going to say, I was just thinking of you. I was just thinking of you. Some people say that it's because our sense of time is out of whack, and people think that they really weren't just thinking of you, but the associations are triggered in the mind, and they're just fooled. No. I dreamed a dream. I dreamed a dream, and dreaming, I thought to reach you. And reaching in the dream, did I touch you? And touching you, did I think I was with you? And thinking I was with you, I forgot I was dreaming. I had another one here. I don't know why it's lost. I wrote that, by the way, just so you know. Yes. Yes. Attraction. I think I had a conversation about attraction last night with someone. Maybe I'll tell that story another time. Attraction. We are attractive when we are ourselves. Any organization that we belong to will be as attractive as it actually is, and we don't have to try to make it into something else. Anything that we're involved in is as attractive as it is, and we need to present it as it is, as it appealed to us, sharing what attracted us to it or them, and that is then what validates its attraction. So in let's see, today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, the lesson for Wednesday on the website and in the thing here is attraction. I am attractive. Say that to yourself 3 times. I am attractive. You want to fight that. You want to fight it. I'm not even telling you to look in the mirror. Just say it. I am attractive. And then, I am an example of the good life. To focus on practicing the good life, I need only be myself and allow the Christ presence within me to express in all that I do. I am open and receptive to new ideas, but I also rely on principle that has worked for me in the past. I know that there are really no shortcuts to life, and I do what is needed to be effective. So I am true to my values, and I act with love and concern in all of my dealings with others today. And what happens? The people in my life notice that I am kind and compassionate. They're able to trust me and feel confident in my presence. This is attraction. The aura of good that surrounds me. The example that I set, the results that I get attract others to me. This is another reference to the airplane, right? Two giant fat people. God and I have become like two giant fat people living in a tiny boat. We keep bumping into each other and